Okay, this is How to Be Free Part 2, audio only. So just, I'm blocking my camera. Okay. And so anyway, it's going to be a lot easier if you just download the audio. Okay. Now, apologize for any sounds you may hear in the background because I'm not in my usual recording spot. So there's going to be a trolley going by. Okay, so I need to clarify some things from part one. Okay. Um, so, first of all, the birth certificate, that's double hearsay. That's one of the reasons why you should never ever use it. Okay. Um, that's proven in court. It's double hearsay. Briefly, the registrar who makes the record, he presses the record. That's the birth certificate. That's the record. He's doing it based off of another record that you will never ever be able to get to see. They'll never show it to you. Okay, and it's the original record of the event. That's all they can record is events. By the way, okay, and so there's no firsthand knowledge there. Uh, it's double hearsay, and yeah, they can be challenged. I challenged mine. Okay, in court. I It was a lot easier for me to challenge mine though because right on the face of it, it wasn't valid because it wasn't filed in the correct number of days. It says on mine, it says it is a legal document. It must be filed within 5 days. It was filed in 7 days instead. All right, so that invalidates the document right there, and it was so easy for the court to see. It's like right there in their face. They can't ignore that. So you don't even have to make double hearsay arguments if it's not filed in the correct number of days. Okay. Um, so anyway, um, yeah, the legal name. I said my legal name. I really should have said my legal person, but it's not really mine. It's the state's. Um, that belongs to the state. They created it. Yeah, there's a certain amount of fraud in them creating that because they created it to look like what you think of as your name. You know, the, your so-called legal name. The thing is that you haven't really even established a legal name with them. Most of you haven't. If you already have, then hell, you probably know almost everything I'm going to be saying anyway. And of course, you can establish um, a trade name for yourself as well, an additional person, basically. Now, um, I've had a lot of thinking to do since the last time I did this audio. Okay, so um, I there are things I should have mentioned before, and there are things that I just didn't think about. I guess they can only deal with legal persons. They cannot ever deal with live man. I knew this years ago, and for some reason it never really clicked in my dealings. And everything that I've been trying to do, trying to get free and everything, which I am now, but yeah, it just never really clicked. It's like, oh well, they've got to have a legal person to interact with. And to make things easier for everyone concerned, yes, you need to establish a legal person and say, okay, this is the legal person, and giving them limited rights over it. Say, okay, well, here's what I'm going to limit you to. This is for interactions with the legal person, and um, you can record these interactions, and you can record the legal person. That's fine. I don't care. Okay. And I will accept process of service, on behalf of this legal person. Now, what I didn't mention, and I should have before in the first video, audio, whatever, which I encourage you to go back and listen to. By the way, if you're just joining me on part two, yeah, part two is going to be way better because I'm using notes this time. But you still need to go back and listen to part two. Part one. I mean, part one. Okay. So anyway, yeah, you can, if you want, act as a general agent for that state-owned entity. I think you can make money doing that if you know how to do it. Now, I think you might be better off. And as a matter of fact, I am actually considering getting a Social Security number. I don't have one now. Okay. My legal person, none of my legal persons have a Social Security number anymore. Okay. There is no Social Security number attached. In some ways, it makes things kind of easy, but in other ways, it makes things kind of hard. I want to be able to make money. Now, as far as getting a new Social Security number, okay, I'm going to establish a new legal person. Either get a new legal person, or maybe I think that other legal person, the one that's actually owned by the state, I think it actually hasn't really gone away. I might be able to pick that up again. Okay, but this time, when I fill out the SS5 form, okay, I'm going to do it as the general agent for the trust, because that legal name that's a state property. That's the name of a trust. Okay, so I might be able to do it that way. I'm considering my options. Let's put it that way. I'm going to have to go to them and ask for their help, though. I don't think there's any way I can really do this on my own. I'm going to have to go to the Social Security Administration and say, look, I just need help with this. This is the situation here. Maybe someone there will help me. It's like, okay, so this is what you want to do. You want to come in as general agent for this trust. Now, obviously, I'm going to have to speak to someone at a higher level if possible. The one of the main issues is they don't want to talk to you. The ones at the higher levels, they don't want to talk to you at all. I've tried to talk to a judge before. I may have a different way of approaching it this time, though. I've tried to talk to the top clerk at the courthouse. Now, lower clerks, yeah, that's no big deal. You can go in and talk to them. It's the ones that are higher up, the ones that actually know something, those are the ones you have a problem, or I have a problem with anyway. They don't want me in their courts. They just don't want me in their courts. The legal person that I have, I don't know if I have access to it right now or not, quite frankly. But that legal person that's owned by the state, I think that's the thing that has the do not arrest, do not detain federal level warning. Okay, which I know for a fact is in the database, by the way. I saw it with my own damn eyes. My own eyes. I was just briefly, they kidnapped me for supposedly using a shopping cart at a grocery store. Yeah, that was the official charge they were going to do. It's like, or you were using a shopping cart. It's like, yeah, I put my backpack in it for a second to put something in my backpack, and I was going to go in. I was on my way into the store. Anyway, I know the real reason they grabbed me, but that's something else. Anyway, they grabbed me. They put me in the back of their their police car, right? The legal name, they type the legal name in there or whatever, and I see the screen on the screen. The very first thing that I see, it says, "Do not arrest, do not detain, federal level warning." The cop gets out of the car, comes around in the back. I'm laughing my ass off. He says, "Why didn't you tell us?" I said, "I didn't know. I was working towards that, but I had no idea." You know? So, yeah, I mean, it's just, it was funny. I was laughing. I had no idea that thing was in there. And I've had a couple of different occasions where different police officers, when they were kidnapping me, confirmed it to me. It's like, oh crap, okay, we're gonna have to let you go. It's like, yeah, I never. It's like, I'm not doing anything wrong, you know. They just, the thing is that they just they believe, okay, it's their belief that everyone out here is under their jurisdiction. They're just enforcing policy, by the way. Okay, that's all the police are doing is enforcing policy. They're policy enforcers. They're enforcing city policies. Okay. Or state police are enforcing state policies. You know, I never really encountered the state police, actually. State police have never tried to do anything to me. But anyway, the last time I encountered police, they made a special trip to tell me that we're good. That's all they said, is that we're good. Meaning they're not going to kidnap me again. And I have not had a single issue since then. Nothing. They never, ever approached me. Okay. But I mean, yeah, it's just, so yeah, that's freedom right there. That's real freedom. But getting back to what you probably really want to know is, how do you go about being a general agent? Okay, well, you got to learn how to be an agent, period, first. Okay, you got to know what duties are what kind of duties you have as an agent, as a general agent. And of course, you got to know how to charge. Um, there's if you go to the Social Security Administration or any government administration, really, they've got these forms that have an OMB number on it, and there's a certain estimate of time for reading the form and filling it out. Okay, well, they have that estimate for a reason. That estimate is there so you can charge them. It's like, okay, well, yeah, I'm charging you, X number of dollars, per minute to fill this form out, or X number of dollars per hour of work that I'm doing, or whatever. Okay. You need to look up agency, look up agents. Okay. Do research. You shouldn't have to depend on me to tell you all this stuff, because you know what? I'm learning right along. I'm learning how to do this as I'm going along anyway. Okay. Now, I will tell you that the Social Security. I'm sorry about the noise, trolley. But anyway, the Social Security Administration, they have trustees. The top trustee is the treasurer. Go look up trustees for the Social Security Administration. Okay, look it up. It'll tell you right there. They have trustees. If they have trustees, it's a trust. You can email them. They will not answer you if you're right, or if you're asking questions, they will not answer you. Okay, I know. I did it on behalf of a friend. I've got to update the stuff, and if you can afford it, do like maybe a registered mail, that kind of stuff, and do it as a self-initiating contract. If you don't know how to do a self-initiating contract, look it up. Learn contract law. I would highly encourage you to look up contract law. Okay. The thing is, if you are right, They will not answer you. Okay. I know that. I knew that. I've known it for quite a while now. I had a friend who got a ticket in Los Angeles. Okay. And we took care of that ticket. I put some questions together for him. He sent the questions off, and it was within the 72-hour time limit. By the way, there's a 72-hour time limit whenever you get a ticket, because that's a commercial resentment. You got to deal with it within 72 hours. Otherwise, it's assumed that the money is owed, okay, or whatever, or that you're responsible. So it was just some questions seeking clarification. That's all it was. We sent that off. A couple weeks later, he got a notice back saying the account had been credited. Okay. Now, in other words, they just took care of it. Oh, sorry. Hang on. Nose itching a little bit. Okay. I'm out here with a whole bunch of plants. I'm laying in the grass, basically. But anyway, yeah. It was so freaking simple. And no, they didn't answer a damn question. The thing is that if you know the right questions to ask, they will not respond. Okay? And you use that to your advantage. That's what a self-initiating contract basically is you're counting on them not to respond. Now, we're having to do everything by email because, for my other friend here, anyway, that I sent off the questions, and essentially kind of a self-initiating contract, a very slim one though. I was trying to do it in a hurry, and there was so much information I didn't have because she'd lost her ticket. So yeah, we contacted the trustees, it's through my email, and also the city and in the police department. Police department never got back to her through, never responded to the email. The city did, but it was by someone who couldn't read. It's like, get someone who can read, And I haven't heard back from them since. But the last time she called, she's going to call again this week though. Last time she called, they were reviewing whether to press charges or not. It's like it's a ticket. Since when does the prosecutor's office have to debate about whether to proceed with a ticket or not? You know? Yeah, this thing is, I wasn't sure. I couldn't do the same thing with her that I did with my other friend because she had lost a ticket. She didn't have the ticket number, and that makes things so much harder. But anyway, yeah, okay, so you know what, I want to back up a little bit. I mentioned something about doing affidavits in the previous video that I did, an affidavit, and getting my parents to do an affidavit or whatever, to testify who I am and stuff like that. Rethinking that a lot. You can use the family Bible, though. They will actually accept that as evidence. Okay, family Bible. Get genealogy. Get your genealogy and put it in the family Bible. Bloodline. That's like super, super important. That's one of the best things you can possibly do. Even if you're not a Christian, get a family Bible anyway. Okay. If you're in a situation where you got a family, or you're part of a family, and you can be with them and everything. But yeah, that's one thing you can do, and you can actually create a name for yourself. Well, sort of create a name. Okay, so a name is actually for fictional entities, for dead things. You can have a calling as well. Okay, I can say I'm called Thunder Bear. You know, yeah, calling is for a man or soul, maybe live soul or whatever. Um, Live man, live woman. You know, a name. Go look up Corpus Juris Secundum, Volume 65 on names. Okay, you're gonna have to go to the law library for that, though. Sorry. um, I've got a video on my site where I took a trip to the law library. They're really super short videos. I didn't even go into everything I should really have gone into, but I show you Corpus Juris Secundum. Okay, uh, ask ask whoever is at the desk. Most should already know. They'll know. They should know exactly where Corpus Juris Secundum is. But some of the younger ones, newer ones, they don't have a clue. They have to look it up. It's no big deal. It's reference material, by the way. You can't check them out. Okay. So, yeah, until you really set a legal name, they have no real proof of a legal name, even in a birth certificate, which, as I said, is double hearsay, or driver's license or anything. They can't even prove that you have a legal name. Okay. But yeah, I mean, if you go in as a general agent and you lay this stuff out for them in writing, it'll just make things so much easier, so much simpler. You know. Oh, and by the way, they will test you. I mentioned before, like they sometimes they'll play dumb or whatever. Like if you're asking for their body information, the cops will sometimes play dumb. Um, I, you know, the I'm not sure about the cops how much they really know. You know, I think they're just dispatched with the very minimum basic knowledge that they have to have, you know, to enforce policy. But yeah, judges will test you. Don't think everyone in government's testing you, by the way. If you just go to some clerk or whatever, they're not going to be testing you. They're just doing their freaking job. Most of them don't know crap. Okay. Some of the higher clerks, they know. Okay. So, like, for example, if you get dragged into court and they go and they process all the financial crap behind the scenes, like the bid bond, performance bond, payment bond, penal bonds, all those bonds stuff. They process all that stuff. They know where to send it, you know, in order to get all the money and everything. Well, not all the money, but you know, but yeah, it's complicated. Maybe the next video I'll talk about the courts. Okay, but yeah, judges definitely will test you. Sometimes you'll have to say something 3 times. You know, one of the problems is they have to protect your belief system, even if your belief is wrong. You know, one good way of making damn certain you're not doing anything wrong is just ask them, "Hey, am I doing something wrong?" Okay. Um, is this process wrong? If this process is wrong, I do apologize. Let me give me an opportunity to remedy it, or tell me what I'm doing wrong. You know, you don't always. Well, I say always. You don't really ever go in there and just treat them as an enemy. That's not really a good way to do it. Even though I know technically they kind of are. You know, and yeah, it's kind of like everything's at wartime and wartime footing and it's martial law. Yeah, I get that. Okay, Oh, that reminds me. I said provost marshal last time. It's spelled provost, but it's actually pronounced provo. Okay. Um, I'm still learning things. Okay, I'm still learning. Um, and I still think provost marshal is probably a pretty good place to go. But well, I'm having to do things a little bit differently because I don't have a social security number and stuff like that. I was also thinking about Homeland Security, but I'm thinking maybe I need to go to like the sheriff's office first because I don't have any kind of legal ID or anything like that. I need to get that. I need to get like my photo associated with that legal person, and so I might go to the sheriff's office first, and then maybe Social Security Administration. I'm not exactly certain. Um, I'm still thinking about it. You know, there are so many damn options, and my situation is far different than most everyone's situation. Okay. Um, I've been thinking about why I don't have a social security number now. I think it is just simply because the 10 years had lapsed. If you don't use a social security number within 10 years, in for 10 years, it lapses. You know, so anyway, um, if you look at the SS5 form, there's actually a place for someone to fill it out on behalf of the person. All right. And yeah, I'm seriously thinking about doing that, getting that form and doing that, but I think I am going to need help. So I don't think they should have a problem with me asking help to fill out the form because, quite frankly, uh, yeah, they don't really give you adequate instructions on the form anyway. You know, not really. Um, I know that Bad Wolf has his way of filling out that form, but I think all that stuff is actually wrong. The Bad Wolf's process and everything, because you are not the citizen. Okay, it's that legal entity that's the citizen. Think about it that way. You're not, since it's not you, that thing cannot actually really fill out any form. You have to do it on behalf of that entity. So I think everyone is filling that form out wrong, even Bad Wolf. I really think that that's the case. Um, I'm sorry. I keep saying Bad Wolf. It's this YouTube channel. Um, Crap, I haven't seen it in a while. I'm wanting to say it's the guy's name is something C. Lovett or something like that. Um, but there's all these everyone now, not everyone, there's a lot of people out there trying to tell you, oh, well, if you fill out the form, you want to make sure that you're letting them know that you're not a U.S. citizen, that you're a state national, and all sorts of stuff. How to fill out the form as a state national. Yeah. Uh, I'm really leery about the state national stuff. I keep kind of going back and forth on it a bit. Um, but yeah, I, I think I might just like not go there, because I don't think it'd be me as a state national anyway. I don't think a live man could be a state national. I really don't, because I think that because it's still government, and I don't think any of that government can actually interact with a live man. You know, that's really, really the heart of the issue. You know, so um, oh man, there's so much noise out here. You know what? I think I'm going to end this now and do a part 3 maybe I don't know, maybe sometime next week I can go back to my original recording site. I just couldn't today because I had something else to do, and I need to be down in this area. So yeah, I'm going to do that. I'm going to leave it off for now, and and make a part three. Actually, a part three next week. Okay, that's it. Bye.